So who do you see the Olympia going to this year, and who's your top three?
Phil, number one.
Wow, you didn't even think about that. Then you're pretty certain.
I've been to I've been to the last 4 or 5 Olympias. When Phil was there, I was on stage with him in 2018.
That's true.
And I know what Phil is and is capable of. And I mean, sure, his stomach was a little off in 2018, but I mean, even stomach aside, look at every other body part. He was still extremely dominant in 2018 in a lot of cases. Obviously penalized him for, the regression in his midsection control, which I can completely understand. But I think that Phil wouldn't come back unless he was very confident that he could come back and regain his title and that he felt his physique is where he needed to be. So, I don't think he would come back if he thought there was even a shadow of a doubt in his mind that he could lose. So I feel very confident that he'll be back to win. And that's nothing against Brandon. I'm a huge Brandon fan. I'm more of a Brandon fan than I am a Phil fan. But, I'm trying to be as honest and subjective as I can. After that, I see, but I see a Flex or Hottie like right on the tails of that. So it's tough for me to say.
Okay.
Sorry,
are you looking forward to the rematch between Flex and Hadi after the Korea 2017?
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also kind of fearful because you know how much Flex got for that. Like when he beat Hadi there, and people didn't deserve it. I mean, the guy was getting like death threats, and I mean, like that some of the fans could get really nasty. And I mean, I know Hadi would never, wish ill will on anyone. He probably had no hard feelings about that, but bodybuilding fans can be very, very intense. So. If I was Flex, I'd be looking forward to it, but I'd also be kind of not looking forward to it. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, from a bodybuilding fan standpoint, that's definitely going to be, very interesting, comparison. I'm sure the judges will really, make those guys work to earn their spots against one another. I'm really excited to see that for sure. But yeah, that's kind of who I see in my top 4 is Flex, Hottie, Brandon, and Phil.
Okay, because I mean, for me, I'm obviously the Phil and Brandon. That's the one that everyone's thinking and talking about. But for me, it's seeing Flex Lewis as not a 212 anymore. So he's going to be he's a complete. We don't know what he's going to look like. We don't know how big and how good he's going to look. But I'm really interested to see him up against William Bonac and Hadi Choopan, all at their best with no weight restrictions. I'm so excited because if you look at it, Bonac's probably the best on paper as an open. Hadi's, really coming into his own. He wasn't even at his best last year and took 3rd. And then you've got Flex that is a complete question mark. We don't know how he's going to look.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I think, if you put it on paper, obviously, Bonac is the most dangerous from a statistics standpoint. But when I look at just sheer impressiveness as a bodybuilder, I mean, Hadi is just ridiculous. I mean, when I did Vancouver Pro with him, I mean, it's the guy.
God, you did that one, didn't you? Oh my God, what was it like when you saw him backstage?
I mean, that's the funny thing about it. Seeing him backstage, he's not impressive at all.
Really?
That's the weird thing about it. And I said this to Melissa. I was like, it's crazy because when you see him backstage under, not so great lighting, you can't see that insane detail and separation.
Okay.
And when his physique comes to life really when he's posing, like hits those abs, and the abs are 2 inches deep, and his quads feathered right up to his hips, and there's so much detail that comes to life when he poses and really hits things. But I mean, in person, he's not tall. He's not 275 pounds. He's not Dallas McCarver, 6'3", 290, So, I mean, you see him backstage, you're like, yeah, he looks good. You can see that his legs are big and there's some muscle there. But, I mean, he's not one of those, like, freaky body part guys. Like, when you see, what the heck's his name? What's his name? Oh, Michael Lockett.
Yeah.
Like someone like Michael Lockett backstage, you're like, what is that thing,